Okay, number 52 is another quadratic inequality, so I need to solve for x. What we want to do is take the square root, and when you take the square root, remember that there are two answers, plus and minus, but you can't have a square root. You can't have something less than or equal to both a positive and a negative number. So we've got x minus 3 is less than or equal to the positive square root of 25, and then we repeat the symbol and put the negative on this side. Okay? You're still trying to solve for x, so at this point you would add the 3 to all three portions, and you've got negative 2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 8. Now if you read this, it says x is less than or equal to 8 and greater than or equal to negative 2. So we are in between the two. So the answer is negative 2 to 8. And there you go. That means, and you can also check your answers, guys, really easily. If you pick a number in between them and you plug it in, this should satisfy the inequality. If you pick a number outside, it should fail, okay? So if I pick 0, 0 minus 3 is negative 3, and negative 3 squared is 9. 9 is less than 25. That works. But if I pick a number outside, like say 10, 10 minus 3 is 7. 7 squared is 49. 49 is not less than 25, which is why my answers are only between these two, because these are the only numbers, and anything between them, that will satisfy the inequality. Okay, number 53, we need to get the the binomial that's being squared alone first. So I want to add the 7. So I get 2 times x plus 4 quantity squared, not equals, is greater than 98. And then I'm going to divide by 2 and say 49. And then I'm going to take the square root, and when you take the square root, remember you get two answers. So I'm going to have x plus 4 is greater than the positive answer 7, and then repeat the symbol and put the negative answer there. Okay? Now this doesn't make sense. Negative 7 cannot be greater than positive 7, so it is one of those where they're working opposite each other. You're going to subtract the 4, and you get negative 11 is greater than x, which is greater than 3. Again, does not make sense. If you read it, you've got 3 here, greater than that, negative 11, less than that. My answers are negative infinity, negative 11, and 3 to infinity. Okay. Number 54. Solve each equation. Remember to check for extraneous solutions. So the x is inside the square root, so I need to solve for that, or get it by itself anyway. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 6. So we subtract 6 from both sides, and the square root of 2x equals 4. Then in order to get rid of the square root, we're going to, or undo that operation, we're going to square both sides, so I'm left with 2x equals 16. And then the last thing we're going to do is divide by 2, and x equals 8. Now, I went ahead and boxed it, but I should make sure to check it. 2 times 8 is 16, and the square root of 16 is 4, and 4 plus 6 is 10, so it does work. Alright, number 55. Okay, we've got an x right here, and you've got an x in there. I cannot even think about combining x's or getting everything on the same side until I get rid of the square root. So what we have to do is square both sides. You have to square the entire side, okay? Over here, that means x plus 1 times x plus 1. Foil it out or distribute out, you get x squared plus x plus 1. That's x squared plus 2x plus 1. On this side, it just cancels out the square root, and you're left with 3x plus 21. So what I now want to do is get everything on the same side as the quadratic, because I've got a quadratic, a linear, and a constant term. I want to get everything on the same side and try and factor it. So we're going to subtract 3x and subtract 21. So x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. And now I want to try and factor. Factors of negative 20 that add up to negative 1 are negative 5 and positive 4. And my answers are positive 5 and negative 4. And now we need to check them. Okay, so I'm going to plug in 5. 5 plus 1 equals question mark the square root of 3 times 5 plus 21. So that's 15. 15 plus 21 is 36, and the square root of 36 is 6, so that's good. Negative 4, though, if I plug it in, I get negative 4 plus 1, and I already know it's not going to work because the square root will never equal a negative number, and that's negative 3. So negative 3 cannot equal, even if I say negative 4, so negative 12 plus 21, that's 9. Square root of 9 does not equal negative 3. Okay. All right, so number 56. We're taking a fifth root right now of the x, so what I'm going to do is add the 3 over. And I've got the fifth root of x equals 5. And then the opposite of a fifth root is a fifth power. So we raise both sides to the power of 5. X equals 5 to the fifth power. And 5 to the fifth. I think it's 625. I'm not sure. Just kidding. That's 5 to the fourth. 3,125. I guess I should have. Okay, number 57. X plus 4 to the 1/4. Raising it to the 1/4 is just like taking the fourth root of something. So this is technically the fourth root of x plus 4. And then I'm going to subtract the 5 and get negative 2. And we're going to, I was going to say square. The opposite of a fourth root is the power of 4, so we're going to raise both sides to the power of 4. And I'm left with x plus 4 equals negative 2 to the fourth power is a positive 16. So we're going to subtract the 4 over and get 12. Okay? I am going to check the answer though, because if I plug in 12 in my video, it's fine. Just right quick. It's fine. Rebecca? And so when I plug in 12, I've got 12 plus 4, the fourth root of that, plus 5. You always have to go back to the original, equals 3. That's the question, right? Well, 12 plus 4 is 16, and the fourth root of 16 is 2, and 2 plus 5, in fact, does not equal 3. So there is no solution to this. All right. Number 58, divide using long division. One of my favorite things. So, Sanders, Emily, Counselor. Okay, so we've got 5x plus 9 is being divided into, okay, so here's the thing. On this right here, you could, all of these numbers are divided by, well, no, you can't divide this by 2. It's not an equation. So you got to leave it as it is. So even though they're all even, you do have to leave it as it is. 32x cubed minus 60x squared. So something always to think about when you're doing division, either long or synthetic, is are you missing any terms? 4, 3, 2, 1, none, and we're not. And if we were missing some, then we would have to do placeholders. Okay. So the question you ask yourself is, how many times, what do I need to multiply 5x by to get 10x to the fourth? And remember that a binomial cannot go into a monomial, so whatever I figure out, the answer is going to have to go above the cubic, okay? 5x times what gives me 10x to the fourth? Well, I have a 5, I need multiply by 2. I have 1x, I need 3 more. So I'm going to multiply by 2x cubed. So 2x cubed times 5x is 10x to the fourth. 2x cubed times 9 is 18x cubed. Next step is to subtract. So we're going to change both signs, subtract, subtract. Those simplify out. Negative 32 minus 18 is 50. So negative 50x cubed. Drop down the negative 60x squared. Alright, now the question is, what do I need to multiply 5x by to get negative 50x cubed? So I need a negative, 5 times 10, and I need 2 more x's. And remember, these should always line up anyway. So negative 10x squared times 5x is a negative 50x cubed. Negative 10x squared times 9 is a negative 90x squared. We're now going to subtract. So I'm going to change both of these signs to a plus and cancel those out. And I'm left with 30x squared. Drop the plus 44x. Alright, I have a 5x, I need a 30x squared, so I'm going to multiply by a positive 6 and 1 more x. 6x times 5x is 30x squared, and 6x times 9 is 6x times 9 is 54. Just wait a second. 54x, and then I'm going to subtract, and I'm left with a negative 10x minus 24. And then last, what do I need to multiply 5x by to get negative 10x? And that would be a negative 2. So negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x, and negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. But then I need to subtract. So it becomes positive, positive, and I'm left with a negative 6. So my final answer is going to be 2x cubed minus 10x squared plus 6x minus 2 minus 6, the remainder, divided by, and it's minus because that was minus, 5x plus 9. Okay? And to just check right quick, if you want to, you can always do that. We're going to check using synthetic division. So in synthetic division, you put the root. So the, whatever makes this equal to 0, so reverse bottoms up, put the 5 down there. The opposite of positive 9/5 is negative. So 10, negative 32, negative 60, 44, and negative 24. I didn't even show you what I was writing. Okay, so we drop the 10. Negative 9 divided by 5 times 10. I just think 10 divided by 5 is 2, and so that is negative 18. Add those up and you get negative 50, and what you're going to find is that we're going to be just repeating this right here. This, 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 and this. Okay? So negative 9 over 5 times a negative 50. Negative 50, well, negative times a negative is a positive. 50 divided by 5 is 10, so that's 90. So again, negative 60 plus 90. That's 30. Negative 9 divided by 5 times 30. 30 divided by 5 is 6, and that is a negative 54. Negative 10, and when you multiply by 10, you get positive, or negative 18. When you multiply negative 10, you get by positive 18. So that is a negative 6, and there you go. Alright, that is the end of page 7.